What's good, guys? We're back with a follow-up to my Return of Revan video where I predicted Revan will be here sometime between mid-January and early February based on the pattern that the other heroes, journeys and legendary characters have had since their returns. And I also threw out predictions for Luke, R2 and all the others, and sure enough the calendar has just dropped in which Luke and R2 will return together. BB-8's returning towards the end of the month. There's no mention of Rey, but it stands to reason that Rey will return with BB, much in the way that Luke and R2 come together. It was also mentioned by CG Top Hat on Reddit that the calendar was not complete at time of release, so very good chance that Rey will get added to it at a later date. Revan, however, well, I don't really know yet. I mean, the pattern is correct. As you've seen, these characters are back like I said they would be, so it stands to reason that Revan will be coming, but probably towards the early February, as part of my prediction was. It was somewhere between the middle of January and the start of February, so perhaps we're going to get Revan right then to kick off February, usually a Sith month, so I don't really know what that'll mean. I kind of thought maybe we'd see someone like Darth Malak in February, but if we're not going to see Revan till early February, I would have thought we'd need him towards Malak, and that just doesn't seem like enough time for the community to get everything together. So yeah, not really sure about February now. It's usually a big month, and I guess we'll have to wait and see. If you've been waiting for Luke, this is really the time where your account is going to get a large boost. Luke is a really important character in pretty much every single raid. Chex Mix in the Heroic Sith can smash the tank to pieces, and he can solo the Rancor by himself. He's a fantastic character in PvP still today, especially with the arrival of Chewie and C-3PO. Just Chewie, Luke and Han together are just a devastating trio. Easily the rebel equivalent of the Triumvirate. And Rey is also a fantastic character. I mean, she's not the be-all and everything that she used to be in regards to the Heroic Sith Phase 1. However, she's still easily one of the very best teams for the entire raid, because even if your guild is at a specifically powerful point where it can just take down Phase 1 with no sort of issues whatsoever, you can still use her in Phase 2. She can work in Phase 3. And if your guild isn't at heroic standard yet and is still on tier 6, Rey can pretty much destroy any phase. On top of that, great in Grand Arena, great in territory wars, great in territory battles. Still works in PvP as well, especially with the arrival of C-3PO now. You can use her to take down Revan teams even, so make sure you have both of these characters locked down this month if possible. However, the returns of Luke, R2, BB, Rey, Revan, they're not the biggest news that came today. If you've been on Reddit, if you have been on the forums, if you've been on the Facebook group, any of the Discord servers, they're going crazy right now because CG has announced a change to Territory Wars, a mode that is pretty popular among a majority of gamers. I mean, it's a pretty good mode, especially if you're in a very active guild, a guild that's quite coordinated. It's really fun. It's one of my favorite modes. Probably not as fun for me as Grand Arena. I'm very competitive and I don't like to rely on other people. However, it's still a great mode, and it's largely one of the only modes in the game that no one's really complaining about, and they've changed it. Yes, they've just announced a community version of the mode in which we'll be voting on specific groups of characters that will be included and the others won't be. However, as you can see from the images, there are going to be characters that are crucial to teams that will be excluded. You might have to run Troopers, but you can't have Vias. You might want to run the Triumvirate, but you won't have Nihilus. Things like that. And it's caused a huge backlash in the community right now. The biggest problem is that obviously it's going to kind of revert people that have crafted large, powerful accounts back to how we used to be at the start of the game when we didn't have full teams with synergy. You would have like a Jedi team with a Stormtrooper in it or something like that. A character that doesn't fit, doesn't add to the team, often takes away from the team defensively or offensively, and we're all going to be forced back into that point. Now, on one side, this could offer an opportunity in which to go outside of the norm and try and figure out unique synergies and unique ways to make a team function. On the other hand, it's frustrating a lot of players because they've worked really hard to develop these powerful teams that are supposed to work together, and now they're going to have crucial parts of that team taken out. They may be going to lose several leaders. in which multiple teams won't be able to work anymore, and it's kind of thrown everything up in the air. I mean, I myself personally, I'm not the biggest fan of this. I really did enjoy the tweaks to characters that are useless. You know, we had the tweak where like Cup was half decent, Mace was an absolute weapon. I mean, God, I did not like facing those Bastila teams that had Mace in it. That was a change that I really liked, and I think for the most part a lot of people enjoyed that. This, however, you know, I'm not convinced. When I was first reading it, my initial reactions weren't particularly great, and going through social media, I like to keep my ear to the ground and really keep on top of what everybody's saying, how everyone's opinions are, and I can't really find anything at all positive about this. Reddit is up in arms about it. Facebook is the same, the forums are the same, the Discord servers are the same. I don't think this is going to be very popular. I really don't. Whether CG go forward with this remains to be seen. Whether it's just a one-time trial just to see, you know, how it plays out, because who knows? Perhaps it will play out in a way that, you know, is fun, but maybe not. I mean, I don't think it will be. I'm very nervous about this, and everybody that's come towards me today to speak about this has said the same. When I woke up, went on my Discord, I had multiple messages about this, and I was like, oh, what's going on? You know, I wasn't aware this was coming. Now, if you haven't already read this news, I'll go through it right now just so you can understand what is coming our way. The post was by CGSB Crumb, and it reads as follows. With the positive feedback we heard from the community following the limited time character bonuses we added to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Clone Wars, as well as the recent addition of Grand Arena events, we're going to continue to shake things up in Territory Wars as we move into the future. As I said earlier, those limited edition changes, they were good fun, and I'm enjoying Grand Arena. The post goes on to say, when Territory Wars was introduced, it was the first opportunity players had to test their full rosters against other players. Now that Grand Arena events are running, we believe there is a much better fit for challenging players who have a similar collection. This will be the arena for purely competitive play. That frees us up to take Territory Wars in a more playful and fun direction. It gives us as developers a ton more options to keep this mode fresh and interesting. We are planning to roll out many types of Territory Wars in the future, but for the next Territory War, we're giving the community the ability to shape what it looks like. Here's how it will work. 1. The community will vote to keep 6 out of 10 groups of 4 characters that you want to see available during the next Territory War. Any groups not chosen will be unavailable for this Territory War. 2. While the community votes, the developer team will hold their own poll and pick one of 4 groups of characters to keep available for Territory Wars as well. For the Territory War, we'll be publishing the groups that we'll choose from ahead of time. See our potential picks and developer poll options below. 3. Finally, we'll post the community's top picks and our picks prior to the start event to give you time to strategize. Other rules: any unlisted character, i.e. not in any group, will automatically be available for use. The poll will be open until January 7th, and results of both the community and internal dev polls will be posted on January 9th. We'd love to hear your feedback and any ideas around Territory Wars community style, but also don't forget to vote for January below. Following that, they've got up a survey link where you can do it, and a whole bunch of poll options. For example, some of the groups, we've got Ray, Old Daka, Bosk, and Sith Assassin together. The next one has Nihilus, Zombie, Jolie, Shore Trooper. We got Treya, IG-88, Anakin, Death Trooper, and another. Vader, BB, Qui-Gon Jinn, Aura Singh. Then we have Grandmaster Yoda, Mother Talzin, Darth Sion, and Range Trooper together. Thrawn, Old Ben, Stormtrooper Han, and Hera. That'd be quite a bad one to lose. Jedi Knight Revan. I mean, no one's going to vote against this one. That goes with Stark, HK, and Dengar. We've got Palpatine, Talia, Greedo, and Chewbacca together. We have Kenobi, Asajj, First Order Officer, and Jango Fett together. And lastly, we have Commander Luke Skywalker, Kylo Ren Unmasked, Baze, and Bastila Fallen together. I mean, that's surely you have to vote for that one. In the developer options, in the first group, we've got Han Solo, we have adult Ahsoka Tano, we have Enfys Nest, and First Order Stormtrooper. In the second group, we have Ezra, we have Count Dooku, we have Sith Trooper, and we have Masked Kylo. In Group 3, we have Boba Fett, Hermit Yoda, Snowtrooper, and First Order Executioner. And lastly, in Group 4, we have Bastard Ashan, Wampa, Resistance Trooper, and TIE Pilot. Wow, I can't even imagine losing 3 of those groups, and we are going to. I mean, they've said they're only going to bring 1 of those groups into keep, so there's a good chance that we won't have Bastila. Losing Han Solo. Nest is a pretty big character in Territory Wars. You know, so there is the possibility that this could be fun, but on paper, I'm pretty terrified, and that seems to reflect the rest of the community as well. So that's it for this video, guys. Let me know how you feel about the topics we've covered in this one in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you want. Support me by Patreon if you'd like. And until next time, we out of here.